All right, welcome back to Houston Local. I'm Anthony. Houston Live and Local. I'm Anthony Antoine. We are staying on here, continuing to follow that shooting that took place in Austin at a Target. Bring you guys up to speed. This is a live look at the scene. Now you see the Target directly in the background there, with several police cars on the scene in the early stages of this investigation. Closer to 3 o'clock or so, the Austin Police Department put out a tweet saying that they were responding to an incident at the Target located at 8601 Research Boulevard. At that time, it did not indicate if the shooting took place inside of the Target or in the parking lot. But nevertheless, they said the suspect they were looking for was a white male, possibly wearing khaki shorts, a Hawaiian floral shirt. The update now, according to sources in KVUE in Austin, that shooter is now in custody. Sadly, the initial report said that there were 4 people injured from that shooting. We now know 2 people have died. Again, 2 people have died from this shooting that took place at this Target there on Research Boulevard. We know a media staging area is currently being set up. Once that media staging area is set up, we expect to hear from law enforcement officials, and the amount of questions that we have at this time will be answered to the best of their ability, because again, early stages of the investigation. Whenever we have these active shooters, things change, and law enforcement want to be as accurate as possible with what they know as it becomes available. So we want to make sure that they have the necessary time to do that and convey the appropriate and accurate message. On top of that media staging area, which will be near the Advanced Auto Parts, which is not too far from that location, there's going to be some road closures. As you would imagine, we had a different vantage point of this scene here earlier, and this is your everyday run-of-the-mill kind of shopping complex. You can see the signs there on the side. There's a Dollar Tree there. There's a PetSmart. There's a Target, places people frequent each and every day. So that entire area has been blocked off. So if you're just now joining us, this is not just taking place here at this Target. There's a much larger perimeter that has been blocked off here by investigators. Two of the victims, that are deceased. The suspect has been detained. The scene still active and the investigation is ongoing, but I do want to help characterize some of what we're seeing here. So this appears, at least from the outside looking in, as far as the body language, and we were looking at some investigators earlier, they're not weapons drawn running inside of that Target. That is no longer the stage of what's taking place here. Now it seems to be the assessment investigation. A lot of the officers, we haven't seen any investigators go inside, but that's not to say that they aren't already inside of that Target. And we haven't seen people run outside of that Target. That could just be the timing that when we got there, and it just can be a different scene that's taking place maybe on the back end of the building that we are not privy to, because this is the vantage point that we have. We were much closer to this Target location earlier, but a lot of times I can speak as a reporter and anchor, like when you get to these active scenes, sometimes as a reporter you can get there and get relatively close to the scene and the action, but investigators, they politely typically ask us to step back, and we try to do our best to adhere to that and move back, but at the same time giving you guys a vantage point like this where you can still get an idea of what's taking place, but maybe on the far end of this point of view here, there can be some more active investigations or things taking place that we simply can't see from this vantage point. But this is where we're at as of right now. So again, if you're just not joining us, it's around 3:45 here right now, but closer to 3 o'clock is when that initial report was tweeted out by the Austin Police Department saying that they were responding to a active shooter at this Target there on Research Boulevard. Things escalated relatively quickly, and I will say they got that information out to us quickly because not too long after that, from the initial reporting of the shooting, we then got the update letting us know that there was a quick suspect description. They said the shooter was wearing khaki shorts and a Hawaiian floral shirt. We now know that suspect is in custody. How that man was taken into custody, where he was located, those are the details we don't know yet. But again, there is a media staging area being set up. Once it's set up, I am sure there are enough reporters there on the ground that will want to know the details of how that suspect was taken into custody. Was this something he voluntarily did, walking out of the... We don't know yet. We will find that out. But sadly, because allegedly of the actions by the shooter here today, we now know that the police department is reporting that 2 people have lost their lives. Again, 2 people have lost their lives in this shooting that took place at this Target there on Research Boulevard in Austin, Texas. Whether this shooting took place inside of the Target, I mean, you figure 3 o'clock, there's a lot of folks probably even shopping for school supplies, trying to get their kids ready for the school year that is right around the corner. So, and Target, very popular, similar to Walmart. Those places are heavy traffic, and a lot of families and people go there to shop for everything from the school supplies to groceries. So it's not hard to see that there could very well have been a large group of people inside of this Target. The motive behind this shooting, again, something we don't know. We are now seeing tweets here from the Austin Police Department saying that that briefing should be starting at 3:45. However, we are now at 3:47, and it has not started as of yet. And that's another thing, I can speak to experience. Whenever we have these shootings, although law enforcement say, hey, we want to start this at 3:45, there's a lot of people involved here in this investigation, and there's a lot of information that they want to convey accurately the first time. And the best way they can do that is to just take the time they need. So these press conferences, quite frankly, rarely start on time, but we're going to do our best here to keep this camera shot up. And once they get that press conference going, we're going to be sure to bring that to you here, because this is a very scary situation. We're going to take a quick commercial break in about 2 minutes, but before we get to that here, just give you guys another lay of the land. That media staging area I'm talking about, it's at the Advanced Auto Parts, which is not too far from this location. I believe it's actually like across the street. But this area is a very common place, right? When you look at the signage there's a PetSmart sign, there's a Dollar Tree sign, there's a Target. So this is, your everyday places that I would shop, you would shop. As I mentioned, school right around the corner. So Target, a very important place where families can be going out to get their school supplies. And sadly, we know that 2 people lost their lives here today in this shooting where the suspect, according to the Austin Police Department, allegedly opened fire. We don't know if the shooting took place inside of that Target or it was the parking lot itself, and it's really hard for me to decipher exactly what's going on here as far as the location of the shooting, because we are a significant distance away to give law enforcement the opportunity to do their investigation. But typically, if something may have happened, okay, we are losing the shot here. Please forgive us. So that was our camera shot going down. But now you can see that caution tape, right? So that's why we are so far back. When we first got to the scene, we were really close to what was taking place here. We were really close to that Target, but then investigators asked us to move back, and this is our sister station, Fox 7, there in Austin, giving us this look. But you can see just dozens of Austin Police Department vehicles there in that parking lot. And once we get some more information, which is expected to be here any minute now, that press conference was scheduled to start at 3:45. It has not started yet, but we want to step away for 1 second, and we'll come back with more Houston Live and Local as we continue to follow this deadly active shooting situation that took place in Austin.